I have recorded over 40 one-hour yoga practices, and they are all different, and this is the last one I'm going to record. But the videos will stay there, and you can view them in any order. There's no special sequence to them. So I hope you have enjoyed them and continue to use them at your leisure. Today's one-hour practice is going to focus on yoga strength. So yoga has three components: mobility, flexibility, and strength. So we do use that strength component as well. So props today. There are a few poses on your hands and knees. So if you want to have a knee pad available to you, you can use that. We're also going to use a strap for a few of our flexibility poses. If you don't have a yoga strap, you can use any fabric belt. So this is just a cloth belt, a webbing fabric. You can use leather as well. And then finally, we're going to do a balance pose called half moon. And that's one where we're tilted with one leg up in the air. If you want to use a chair or a piece of furniture for that, you can. In fact, I will model the first time with a piece of furniture and the second time without. But now let's start with our hand gesture. This is the American Sign Language gesture for the word strong. So you take your fingertips to your shoulders, and then as you move your hands away, you flex. So do that one more time. Touch and flex, because you are strong. I'm backing up so you can see me head to toe. And we'll go into our spinal warm-up, all 7 motions of the spine. Standing mountain pose first. Set your base of your mountain at about tennis ball distance between the big toes, and then bear the weight evenly through the balls of the feet and the heels, and stack everything over the heels. Knees, hips, shoulders, ears, shoulder blades in the back pockets. Beautiful posture. And we go into elongation first. Inhale, scoop the air up. Exhale, float the arms down. Do that twice more. Inhale, lift, and release one more time. And we go into standing cat and cow, flexion and extension, motions 2 and 3. Bend the knees, bend the hips, round your back, tuck the chin, exhale. Inhale, pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. Do that twice more. Standing cat, standing cow, one more time. Standing cat, standing cow, and release. Going into lateral flexion, right and left, moves 4 and 5. Set your feet a tiny bit wider than your hips. Place your right hand on the right leg or the right hip, and then lift your left arm to the sky. Don't block out your knees, keep them soft, give them a wiggle, and now laterally flex over, reaching over to the right with your left arm. Make space in the left side body. We're going to add a static lateral flexion today. So do one more with motion, and the next one will hold. You can keep that right hand on your right leg for support, or reach up and grab the left wrist with your right hand and add an extra tug. Take one more breath cycle, and release. Opposite side, placing your left hand on the left leg or hip, right arm to the sky, and now start that lateral flexion. Imagine your body is between 2 panes of glass. You can't lean forward, you can't lean backwards. One more with motion. Next one we hold. Reaching over that ear a little deeper. You can keep that left hand on the leg for support, or reach up and grab the right wrist. Add an extra little tug. Take one more breath cycle. And release. Roll those shoulders back. We're going to go into our rotation here. Slow motion sprinter. Right arm draws forward, left elbow back and bent, and then switch. Twisting through the rib cage and shoulder girdle. Very gentle twist. Engage those abdominal muscles though. Think about your navel pulling in towards your spine, protecting the low back. Let's do one more each arm. And release. Roll those shoulders back. And we're going to go into our first little mini strength series. 3 poses linked together 3 times. Step wide on your mat. Externally rotate. Toes out, heels in. Keep the knees soft. Remember, give them a little wiggle. Don't lock them out. We're going to go into a flat back or a half forward fold. And then sink the hips into goddess squat. And then rise up into star, reaching up to the stars with your arms. So knees straight, hands on the hips, flat back. Engage the abdominal muscles. Feel the strength in your abdominal muscles. And now sink your hips low, bend the knees, come into cactus arms, goddess squat, working the lower body. And now use the lower body to lift up into star. Release. Second time, hands on the hips, flat back. Engage the abdominal muscles. Sink the hips low, bend the knees, cactus arms, rise up, star. Release. Last time, hands on the hips, flat back. Bend the knees, sink the hips, cactus arms, rise up, and release. Walk the feet together. All right, we're going to go right into another strength pose, and this is a balance pose. This is that half moon pose I told you about. And we're going to do it the first time using a prop. You don't have to, but I'm going to show it using a piece of furniture. So if you want to use a piece of furniture, come behind the piece of furniture that you're going to place your hands upon. So I'm going to use this baguette here. Or if you want, you can go directly to the floor with your hands. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold from the hips. Land your hands either on the furniture or all the way to the floor. I'm going to move the cushion so I don't slide here. And place my hands directly. I'll just move it out. Directly on this flat surface for stability. Take your right leg back, big toe is touching, and now float the foot and flex the right foot. Point the right toes to the right. Now you've externally rotated that hip. You can keep the foot low, or you can start to lift it up towards the height of the hip. If you need a little extra cheat, here's your cheat with the left heel. Just push that left heel slightly towards the left. That gives you a little more stability. Bring your left hand to center. You can keep both hands on your prop or on the floor, and then take an option, take your right hand to your hip. Or you can keep the hands where they are. Or you can lift that right onto the sky. Lift up through that left shoulder. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And release. Soften the knees and lift up. We'll do that same thing on the other side. On the other side, I'm going to show it without a prop, but you can use the same prop. You don't even have to go to the other end of your mat. Standing in mountain pose. Inhale, scoop the air up. Exhale, fold your body, placing your hands either on the prop again, or I'm showing this time all the way down to the earth. Take your left foot back, big toe touches, and then float the left foot. Externally rotate, so now the left toes are pointing to the left. If you want that little cheat with the right heel, just kick it a little bit to the right. If you can, lift that left leg up to the height of the hip. That's an option. If that doesn't work, then you can keep it lower. That's fine too. Both hands can stay on the mat. Center that right hand if you're going to pick the left hand up and place the left hand on your hip. Or maybe reach it up to the sky. One more breath cycle. Hand down, foot down, bend the knees, and rise up. That's an intense strength balance pose. Good work, my friends. Let's go into a little lunge sequence here, also working core stability, but with both feet on the mat. Come to the top of your mat. We're going to set our lunge and go into the twisting of both directions, and then finish it up with twisted prayer with a variation if you want. So keep your left leg forward and step your right leg back. If you need some support while you're getting into your lunge, you can touch a piece of furniture, find your balance, and then let go. Find that balance. If you want more of a stretch on the back leg, straighten the back knee and push that heel away. Keep your spine upright here. We're not leaning forward in arrow lunge. We're in an upright lunge to get a nice stretch through that right hip flexor. Take your arms into a T. Shoulders relaxed. Inhale. Exhale, twist to your right. Away from your device. Inhale back to center. And now inhale, center. Exhale, twist to your left, looking at your device. Inhale back to center. We'll do that twice more on each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Last one. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Stay here. You're going to take this into twisted prayer. Option 1. Place your right hand on your left thigh. And just take your left hand either up to the sky or to your heart. Option 2, a little bit more balance required because you're going to take that hand off the thigh, bring your hands to prayer position, and then lower that right elbow towards the left thigh, pointing the left elbow up to the sky. Twisted prayer. One more breath cycle. Shoot the arms forward over that left knee, step it forward, and release. Same sequence, opposite side. I'm going to turn to the opposite end of my mat so that I can look towards you during twisted prayer. So set your feet. Keeping that right leg forward, step your left foot back. Find your balance. If you need to, you can use your hand on a piece of furniture to set your balance, but then release the hand once you have your balance. If you want the deeper stretch on that left leg, straighten out that knee and push that heel away. Maintain the upright spine now. Shoulders relaxed, extend the arms into a T. Inhale, exhale, twist to your left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to your right. Inhale, center. We'll do that twice more each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist right, and stay here. You're looking at your device. Same options for your twisted prayer. You can take your left hand on your right thigh and then either lift your right arm to the sky or place it at your heart. Or you can go into that pose that requires a little bit more balance, taking that left hand off of the thigh, coming to prayer hands, and then dipping your left elbow towards that right thigh and pointing your right elbow up to the sky. One more breath cycle. Shoot the arms forward over the knees, step forward, and walk it out. Good work, my friends. We are going to go into a strength sequence here that has a 5-layer cake. It includes Warrior 2, so we're going to want to step to the left. So scoot your bodies over to the right. We're going to start with that Warrior 2 pose. 5 layers on our cake, and the last 2 layers are both balanced poses. Yikes. Working core strength, core stability here. Hands to heart center, shoulder blades in the back pockets. Feet are in mounted position. Bear the weight strongly through the right foot. Let your left heel become light. Open that left knee to the left. Step it out to the left, bending that left knee, and now extend it into a T. Align these shoulders over your hips. We're going to come right back to mountain. So bend both knees and shift it back. Mountain. Second time, lift the left heel, open the knees, step it out. Swing those arms into a T. Soften the knees, back to mountain. Last time, lift that left heel, open it to the left, step it to the left. Swing the arms into the T. Soft knees, back to mountain. Adding on, we're going to go into a flat back. We already did a flat back once, but that was with external rotation. This flat back is going to be parallel feet, like a giant number 11. So starting with that Warrior 2 though, lift the left heel, open it to the left, step it to the left. Send the arms into a T. And now bring your hands to your hips. Rotate this left foot parallel, giant number 11, coming into flat back. Lift it back up, soft knees, back to mountain. Second time, float the heel, open it, step wide. Warrior 2. Rotate the left foot, flat back. You can keep your arms in airplane wings or you can use your hips for support. Soft knees, shift it back, mountain. One more time and we'll add on again. Lift the left heel, open it, step it left. Swing those arms into your T, warrior 2. Rotate your left foot, giant number 11, flat back. Soft knees, step it back, mountain. Adding on, when we come back to mountain, instead of lifting up, we're going to stay low in chair squat. Lift the left heel, open it, and step it wide. Come into your warrior 2. Rotate that left foot, flat back. Soften the knees, stay low, shift into chair squat, tuck your tail, and then rise up to mountain. Second time, lift the left heel, open, step wide. Send those arms into the T. Rotate your left foot, parallel feet, flat back, core strength. Soften the knees, shift over into your chair squat, Utkatasana, and rise up. One more time. Soft heel, open the left knee, step it wide. Swing the arms into your T, warrior 2. Rotate your left foot, flat back. Soft knees, lower the hips. Sink into chair squat, tuck your tail, and rise up. All right, fourth layer on the cake. This is the first of the 2 balance poses. As we come out of our chair squat, we're going to come into tree pose. Option 1 is to bring a big toe to the mat, or you can come to the calf. You're not going to have time to help it all the way up to the inner thigh because it's only for one breath cycle. First time I'm going to show a big toe touching the mat. Left heel lifts, open, step to the left, swing the arms into your warrior 2 pose. Rotate your left foot, parallel feet, flat back, core strength. Soften the knees, lower the hips, shift over, chair squat. Rise up into tree pose, big toe touching or floating, you pick. Release to mountain. Second and third time, I'm going to show tree pose with the foot on the calf, but you can use big toe on the mat, you pick. Float the heel, open the knee, step it to the left, swing the arms into your T, rotate your left foot, parallel, core strength for flat back, soften the knees, keep the hips low, tuck your tail, chair squat, rise up into tree pose, and release. Third time, left heel is light, knee opens, step it left, swing those arms into a T, rotate your left foot, parallel feet, flat back, strong core. Bend your knees, keep the hips low, chair squat. Rise up to tree and release. Last layer on the cake, we go directly from our balanced tree into another balance pose, airplane pose, also called warrior 3. First time we do it, I'm going to show it big toe touching. So I'm going to show big toe touching for tree and big toe touching for airplane. So I'm just going to step back and keep the big toe on the mat. Make sure you're not going to hit any furniture behind you. Let's start with that warrior 2 though. Float the heel, open the knee, step it to the left. Arms to a T, warrior 2. Rotate your left foot, flat back, core strength. Soften the knees, hips are low, chair squat, tuck your tail. Rise up into tree, I'm showing it big toe touching. And then transition to airplane, also I'm showing big toe touching. And release to mountain. Second time I'm going to show tree and airplane pose with the big toe floating. But remember, your option, you can keep that big toe on the mat. Float the heel, open, step it wide. Make your T with your arms. Rotate the left foot, parallel, flat back. Use that core strength and now soften the knees. Shift into chair squat. Tuck your tail. Rise up into tree pose. And then kick that foot back into airplane or warrior 3. Release back to mountain. One more time, and then we do the whole layer cake on the other side. Float the left heel, rotate the knee, step it out. Arms to a T, warrior two. Rotate your left foot, parallel feet, flat back. Bend the knees, shift into chair squat, tuck your tail. Rise up into tree pose, and then kick it back into airplane pose, and return to mountain. Block it out. Good work, my friends. Maybe a little heart rate elevation there. Step it over to the opposite end of your mat, and we'll do that same sequence on the other side. Starting with just that first layer, which is warrior two. This time your right leg is moving. Your hands could be at heart center or at your hips, wherever they're comfortable, because you're going to send them out into that T anyway. So float that right heel, open the right knee, step it to the right, and send your arms into that T. Soften the knees to shift back to mountain. Second time, float the heel, open the knee, step it wide. Send the arms to your T. Soft knees, mountain. One more time. Float the heel, open, step, make a T, soft knees, mountain. Now we'll add that flat back, and we'll have parallel feet, giant number 11, so that right foot's going to rotate. Float the heel, open the knees, step it wide, set your warrior two, and now rotate your right foot flat back, soft knees, mountain. Second time, heel up, open the knees, step it right, send the arms to your T, and now rotate the right foot flat back, soft knees, mountain. One more time. Right heel lifts, opens, steps, make a T, and now rotate your right foot flat back, soft knees, return. This time when we return, we're going to add that chair squat, another strength pose. Float the heel, open it up, send it out for warrior two. Now rotate the right foot, flat back, soft knees, stay low with the hips, shift back into your chair squat, tuck your tail, and then rise up to mountain. Second time, heel lifts, opens, steps out, make your T shape, and now rotate the right foot, flat back, soften the knees, shift over into chair squat, tuck your tail, rise up. Last time, float the heel, open, step right, make a T, rotate your right foot, flat back, soft knees, chair squat, tuck your tail, and rise up. Fourth layer, we're on to the balance sequence. First time I'm going to show tree, I'll do it with the big toe touching. All right, let's start with warrior two though. Float the heel, open, step it wide, set your warrior pose, rotate the right foot, flat back, soften the knees, shift into chair squat, tuck your tail, and now rise up, grow your branches, open that knee, big toe touching or on the calf, release. Second and third time I'll show it with the foot going to the calf. Float the heel, open, step right, come into your warrior two pose, rotate the right foot, flat back, soft knees, shift it over into chair squat, tuck your tail, rise up into tree pose, wherever you can touch the mat, and then release. Third time, heel lifts, opens, and steps right. Come into your T shape, rotate the right foot, flat back, soft knees, chair squat, Utkatasana. Tuck your tail as you lift up into your tree pose, and release. Last layer, top layer. This one I'm going to show tree with the big toe back on the mat, and airplane with the big toe on the mat. Second and third time though, I'll float it. You pick, lots of options. Float the heel, open the knee, step it right. Set up your warrior two pose. Rotate your right foot, flat back, core strength. Soft knees, chair squat, lower body strength, tuck your tail, rise up, tree pose, balancing or big toe on the mat. And now step it back, airplane pose, balance or big toe on the mat. Mountain. All right, 2 more times and we're done with our layer cakes. Float the heel open, step it right. Send that, some arms into your T. Rotate your right foot flat back. Soft knees, chair squat, tuck your tail. Rise up into tree, remember you can touch the mat. And now kick it back, airplane. Release to mountain. Last one. Float the heel open, step it wide. Set your warrior 2. Rotate the right foot flat back. Soft knees, shift to chair squat, tuck your tail. Rise up, tree pose, Vrikshasana. And now kick it back, airplane or warrior 3 pose. Return to mountain, walk it out. Good work, my friends. That was our standing sequence. We're going to take it down to the mat into hands and knees. We'll be going, starting with down dog, and then we'll transition to actually being on the knees. So if you want, have your knee pad ready. If you want, move your device now. This is a good time. Moving your device lower, either a stack of books or directly to the floor. Stand at the top of your mat. We're going to go into a down dog plank series. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold your body, bend your knees, tilt your bottoms up, and land your hands on the earth. And now step your bent legs back into plank with bent knees, and then lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Spread your hands wide, lift through the armpits, ears close to the arms. Press your thigh bones into your legs. Breathe. And we're going into plank 3 times. Inhale, float forward, stacking shoulders over wrists. Exhale, back to down dog. Twice more. Inhale, forward, plank. Exhale, back, down dog. 1 more time. Inhale, forward, plank. Pressing the fingerprints. Exhale, down dog. Changing that sequence slightly, we're going to go into a 1-leg version of it. Keep your right leg on the earth and send that left leg up to the sky, 3-legged dog. Inhale, forward plank with 1 leg. Exhale, 3-legged dog. Inhale, forward, 1-leg plank. Exhale, 3-leg dog. Last time, inhale, forward, 1-leg plank. Exhale, 3-legged dog. Bring that left foot down and we'll switch, doing the same thing with the right leg up in the air. 3-legged dog, right leg in the air. Inhale, forward, 1-leg plank. Exhale, 3-legged dog. Inhale, 1-leg plank. Exhale, 3-legged dog. Last time, inhale, forward, be strong. Exhale, 3-legged dog. Bring that foot down. Prance your down dog a couple times. And then lower your knees. We're going to set up a knee plank here. So if you want, now is the time to incorporate a pad for your knees if you like. Setting up knee plank. So walk your hands towards the top of the mat. Spread your fingers wide. Relax the toes. And now draw your hips into alignment between your shoulders and knees. So you don't want your hips popping up and you don't want them sagging down. So set that alignment. And now orient your hands with the pinkies pointing to the outside long edge of your mat. Now your elbows will bend backwards. We're going into Chaturanga 3 times. First one, make it small. Bend your elbows just an inch. 1 breath cycle. Straighten. Second time, come a little lower if you can. Bend your elbows. 1 breath cycle. Straighten. Third time, take it to whatever Chaturanga you can do. Don't try and do anything that's going to stress or strain your joints. If you feel comfortable coming onto your toes for your final Chaturanga, you can. Bend your elbows, 1 breath cycle. Straighten and release to child's pose. Roll out your wrists. Those are strength poses, my friends. Chaturanga Dandasana. We're going to come now back into table pose and come into some side planks. Once on each side, and I'll give you the option to do it on the knee or with the legs extended. Come forward into your table pose. Spread your fingers wide. Press in through those fingerprints. Always remember that helps to stabilize your wrist. Also pressing in through the index finger and thumb a little bit more intensely helps also to protect the wrist. We're going to go into side plank, starting on the right knee. So kick your right foot out to the right edge of your mat, step your left foot back, and drop the left heel down. Lift that left arm to the sky. Low version of side plank. You can stay here, or step that right foot back and come into an extended side plank. Lift up through the right shoulder, don't sink. Pressing with the fingerprints. One more breath cycle. Release to table. We're going to do that on the other side. I'm going to be facing away from you. It's the same pose though, so you know what it looks like. We'll be on the left knee to start, so take your left foot, kick it off. That's your kickstand, gives you a little stability. Take your right foot back, drop the heel down, and lift your left arm to the sky. You can stay here, or once again, you can straighten out that second leg. Lift up through the left shoulder. One more breath cycle. Hand down, both knees down. Child's pose, roll out your wrists. And we're going to do one more hands and knees sequence here, adding a bird dog and then a bird dog tuck. So come into table again. Spread your hands wide, press in through the fingerprints and the knuckle pads. Take your left leg back, curl the toes onto the mat, and then push and release that heel back and forth, stretching through the sole of the foot. Keep lifting up through your shoulders. Stretching through the sole of the foot and the back of the leg. Pause the motion and we'll go into our bird dog. Keep that left foot flexed and float it off the mat. Don't let this left hip open out to the side like this. Keep that hip pointing down to the mat. Now you can stay here or you can float that foot up a little higher. I had to adjust because I kicked furniture. Lift up through those shoulders. You can keep both hands on the mat or you can extend your right arm forward, reaching those right fingertips as far away from the left heel as you can. And we're counting down 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the leg in the air, put the hand back down. We're going to add a knee tuck. Twice we'll do it with just the knee. Look forward to the top edge of your mat and now tuck the knee under your chest, rounding your back like a cat, and then extend it back, push through the heel. One more time like that. Draw the knee towards your chest, round back like a cat, and send that heel away. We'll do it 2 more times, but you have the option to add strength by taking that right arm off the mat again. Lift through your left shoulder, and you'll be tucking the elbow to the knee under the chest. Just 2 more. Tuck and extend. Last one. Tuck and extend. Hand down, knee down. Child's pose. Roll out that wrist, especially the left wrist. We're going to do that same sequence on the other side. I'm going to continue to face the same direction here. Lift up to your table pose. Spread your hands wide. Press in through those fingerprints and knuckle pads. Send your right leg back. Curl the toes onto the mat. Lift through the shoulders. And then push the heel away and release. Do that a few times. Stretch the back of the leg and the sole of the foot. Pause the motion, and we'll come into that strength pose. Strength for the back body here. Keeping that right foot flexed, float it off the mat. Keep lifting through the shoulders. You can keep that foot low or try to get the heel up to the height of the hip. And now look at the top edge of your mat. You can keep both hands on the mat or extend the left arm forward. Keep lifting through the right shoulder. And we're holding here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the leg in the air. Put the hand back down. Press in evenly through all 10 fingerprints. And we'll add 2 knee tucks with both hands on the mat. Tuck round your back, and then push through the heel, extending. Second time, tuck round your back, push back to the heel. You can do the last 2 the same way, or if you want that extra strength component, send your left arm forward, and we'll be tucking the elbow towards the knee under the chest. Tuck and extend. Last one, tuck and extend. Hand down, knee down, child's pose. Rotate the wrists. We're going to add a little wrist stretch here after all those down dogs and table poses. You can keep your hips low, as I'm demonstrating here, or you can lift your hips up higher. We're taking the backs of the hands, so interlace the tips of the fingers and let the backs of the hands touch the mat. Here my hips are low, or here my hips are high, either one. Bend the elbows out to the side, and now straighten the elbows all the way. That's where you get the stretch. Do that twice more. Bend and straighten. Once more. Bend and straighten. And release. Roll out your wrists. You can remove your knee pad because we're going to lie on our bellies and do 1 prone pose, locust, Shalabhasana. On your bellies. We're going to do this pose 3 times. We're going to break it down. First time just the upper body, second time just the lower body, third time putting it together. Bring your arms down alongside your body, palms facing your legs. Your nose is looking at the top of your mat here. Breathe. Take 1 more breath cycle in and out. On your next inhale, lift the chest, lift the hands, and reach your fingertips towards your feet. Take 1 breath cycle here, and release. Next time, the chest will stay on the mat, and we're going to lift the knees. Look towards the top of your mat. Take 1 breath cycle to prepare. On your next inhale, lift your knees, lift your hands, and reach your hands towards your feet. But keep your chest on the mat this time. And release. Last time, we'll put them together. If that's too much, do just the upper body. Look towards the top of your mat. Take 1 breath cycle to prepare. On your next inhale, lift the chest, lift the hands, lift the knees. If you want, interlace your hands behind your body and get a deeper stretch for the front body. Take 2 breath cycles here. Release, hands beneath your shoulders. Push back into child's pose. Reach your hands to the top of your mat in this first version of child's pose. And then we'll add a second version, rotation. Walk your hands left, push your hips right. Let your chin or cheek rest against the upper left arm or shoulder. Heavy hip. And we switch. Walk your hands to the right edge, push your hips left. Chin or cheek can rest against your upper right arm or shoulder. Heavy left hip. Come back to midline, lift the body, and we're going to come into some seated poses. So set your bottoms on the mat, extend your legs forward for staff pose, Dandasana. And even though this is a lot about strength, we still get some stretching in. We're going to do some stretches for the thighs, the hips, and the low back. Starting with half Lord of the Fishes, draw your right foot in, step it across. If that's too much compression on your abdominal cavity, you can stay here on the inside of the leg and still do your twist. So you pick. Crossing it over gives you a deeper stretch. Lift up through the rib cage, relax the shoulders, and hug that knee into your body. Feel that stretch in the right outer thigh, right hip. And if you want a little bit more of a rotation here, take your right hand and place it on the mat behind you or the back of the hand to your low back. Keep squeezing that knee into your body though. Don't lose that stretch. One more breath cycle. And face front. If you were on the inside of your leg, we're going to go into half garland pose. So this won't compress your belly quite as much. You'll be in control. So step it over if you didn't already have it stepped over. And then take the outside edge of the foot down to the mat. So now you don't have that same compression on the abdominal cavity. We will fold the body, but you're in control of how much we fold. Internally rotate both shoulders, cradling that knee with both arms. And let's start with the fold. That'll stretch the lumbar area of the spine. Draw your chest a little bit closer to that bent knee. And now let's move into the stretch for the thoracic area of the spine. Exaggerate the C shape. Keep the chest low. And finally, the stretch for the cervical area of the spine at the neck. Draw the chin towards your chest. Take 2 more breath cycles. And slowly lift the body back up. Extend that right leg out. Give it a shake. And we'll do that sequence on the other side. Half Lord of the Fishes and half Garland. Draw your left foot in. Remember, on half Lord of the Fishes, you don't have to step it over. You can stay here and do your twist. Deeper stretch if you step it over. Lift up through the rib cage, relax the shoulders, turn and hug that knee into your body. Gazing off towards the left. Option for that deeper twist, you can take your left hand and place it on the mat behind you, or the back of the hand can come to your low back. Level chin, tall spine. One more breath cycle. Spiral back to face front. Take the outside edge of the foot down to the mat. Remember, if you didn't cross it over for half Lord of the Fishes, cross it over now and place the outside edge of the foot to the mat. Internally rotate the shoulders, cradling that knee with both arms. And once again, we'll start with the base of the spine. Going for that lumbar area stretch, lower the chest. Going for the thoracic area stretch, make that C shape, but keep the chest low. And finally, keeping the chest low and keeping your C shape, tuck your chin. Hold for 2 breath cycles. And lift up out of the pose. Extend the legs forward, give the knees a shake. All right, those were some nice stretches, but now we're going back into strength because today is about strong. All right, let's go into a reverse table pose, starting with your bottoms on the mat. So bend your knees, keep your bottoms on the mat. I'm going to turn sideways to you. Keep your knees in line with your hips. So that's about the size of an orange or small grapefruit. Don't let your knees splay open and don't let your knees touch. You want them lined up with your hips. Take your hands behind. Point your fingertips towards your hips. If that's really uncomfortable for your wrists, you can move the fingers out slightly towards the long edge of your mat, but don't rotate it all the way around like this, because that is not a strong position for the upper body when you come into reverse table. So set your hands. Make sure your fingers aren't right next to your bottoms either, because when you lift your bottoms, you're going to need your hands behind you. First time, we're just going to lift the hips 1 inch off the mat. First, pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. Inhale, lift your hips 1 inch and lower right back down. We're going to do it again. And you can stay with that 1 inch, listen to your body, or you can come up a little bit higher. Pinch a pencil first. Inhale, lift your hips 1 inch or higher, maybe all the way up to the height of the knees. Exhale, lower down. Last time, option to do another reverse table, or if you want, you can do a reverse plank on this one. If you are, move your heels about 4 to 6 inches forward. Your knees are still bent, but when you come up with your hips, they'll straighten out and your toes will flatten down to the mat. First, whatever you're doing, whether it's reverse table or reverse plank, pinch your pencil. Inhale, lift your hips, coming into reverse table or reverse plank. Bend your knees if you're in plank, lower it down. Release your wrists and hug your knees. We're going to go into a boat sequence, working on core strength, and we're going to use our prop now. So this is the first time we picked up our prop, our strap, or our belt. You could even use a hand towel here. We're going to place that prop around the sole of the right foot and come into boat variations that use the resistance of the strap to help us balance. So sit tall, recline slightly, pinch a pencil as you lift that right leg up. Make sure you're pinching that pencil, shoulders back. And we're going to straighten and bend the knee 3 times. Straighten and bend, straighten and bend, straighten, bend, and release. Switch that over to the left foot. Same thing, recline slightly, pinch a pencil as you lift your left foot up, and we straighten and bend, straighten and bend, straighten and bend, and release. And now we're going to put both feet into the strap. The strap gives us resistance, helps us balance on our sits bones. So recline slightly, pinch a pencil as you lift both feet up, balance, keep pinching the pencil, and we straighten and bend, straighten and bend. One more, straighten and bend, and release. Remove the strap. We're going to do that same sequence again, this time with the hands on the mat. That's going to be our prop this time. So just like in reverse table, your fingers are pointing towards your hips or maybe slightly at an angle to the long edge of the mat, but don't turn your hands around like this. Keep those fingers pointing towards your feet. Same thing, recline slightly, pinch a pencil as you lift your right foot up, and now straighten and bend, straighten and bend, straighten, bend, and release. Pinch that pencil as you lift your left foot up, straighten and bend, straighten and bend, straighten and bend, and release. Last one, ground those sits bones. Pinch a pencil as you lift up both feet, straighten and bend, straighten and bend, straighten, bend, and release. Go ahead and hug your knees for a moment. We're going to do that boat sequence one more time with a progression if you want, or you can do it the same way with your hands on the mat. Let's all start with the hands on the mat just to come into alignment. Recline slightly. And now if you want, you can take your hands off the mat, but don't draw your hands forward because then it's harder to pinch your pencil. So just leave your hands off to the sides, floating off the earth. And then as you pinch your pencil, pick up your right foot. Straighten and bend, straighten and bend, straighten and bend, and release. Relax for a moment. We'll do the left foot next. Come back into position, starting out with the hands on the mat if you want as you recline, and then take your hands off the mat if you want. Pinch your pencil as you lift your left foot. Straighten and bend, straighten and bend, straighten and bend, and release. Go ahead and release those core muscles for a second. Last time, last sequence of the boat. If you want, this is the hardest one, so you can leave your hands on the mat or challenge yourself to take your hands off the mat. Start with the hands on the mat as you recline, and then if you want, take your hands off the mat. Pinch your pencil as you lift up both feet, and now straighten and bend, straighten and bend, straighten and bend, and release and hug those arms over your legs. One more seated pose. We're going to go into rolling like a ball, but we're going to progress. So you've got that C shape going right now, right? Keep that C shape and just come halfway back. And now come back forward and then sit tall. Now come back into that C shape and do it again. Halfway back, forward, and sit tall. One more like that. Create the C, halfway back, come forward and sit tall. Working on core strength here. Next progression, and again, these are optional. You can keep doing it just like I showed it, half roll back, or you can come all the way down to the mat with your back body. Make sure you've got that C shape though, so that you're actually rolling and not going kerchunk, kerchunk. When you come back up, go ahead and let your feet touch the mat. Your hands can rest on the sides of your body, on the sides of your legs. So start to come into your half roll back. You can stay here and come right back up, or keep going, lifting your feet and then rocking back up, and sit tall when you come to your feet touching the mat. Come back into that C shape. Go halfway back if you want, or all the way back. Land the feet and sit tall. We'll do one more like that. Round your back, either halfway or all the way. And finish up sitting tall. There's one more progression. There's always threes. Everything's in threes. We're going to go into that half roll back, or you're going to go into the full roll back, or you can go into full roll back, and when you come back, don't let your feet touch. Keep your feet floating. Really engage those abdominal muscles to find your balance through your sits bones. We'll do it 3 times. Hands on the sides of your legs. Create that C shape halfway back. You can stop here and come back up, or keep going all the way. As you lift up, see if you can balance on your sits bones without touching. Twice more. Halfway or all the way. Feet touch or feet float. Last time. Halfway, all the way, feet touch. Everybody feet touch. And now everybody feet float. Engage those abdominal muscles, relax the shoulders, and release. We are going to lie down to finish up, my friends. Keep your strap handy. We'll do some stretches. Coming all the way down to your back body, either using your core muscles or hands and elbows can help you. We're going to go into reverse crunch, baby plow, and full plow if you want. Options, options, options. Knees are bent. Feet are floating. Press the upper arms into the mat. Press the hands into the mat. Lift your hips just 1 inch and then right back down. Do that a few times. Reverse crunch. If you want, straighten the legs and do the same thing. Do one more. Hug the knees. We're going to go into a baby plow. We're going to start with the knees bent again, always working on progressions. So arms alongside your body. Press the upper arms into the mat. Knees are bent. Knees are stacked over the hips. And now this time we're going to draw the knees closer to the chest as you lift the hips up. Press the hands in, press the upper arms in, lift the hips and draw the knees closer to the chest. Go at your own pace. You can keep the knees bent, or if you want, you can come into straight legs. Do one more. Hug the knees. Last one, coming into a full rollover. This is not the same as plow pose, which we would just hold. In rollover, we roll over, we pause for just a brief moment, and then we come back. So it's a moving pose, rolling over and rolling back. Press your arms into the mat. Remember, you can stick with baby rollover. You don't have to add the pause. Knees bent. Knees are over the hips. Press your upper arms. Press your hands in. I'm going to show baby plow first. You can continue with baby plow, or if you want, pause and release. Pause and release. With the legs straight, pause and release. Wherever you are, do one more. Hug your knees, and we'll complement that with open belly twist. Put your feet on the mat. Insides of the knees are together. Arms are in a cactus or a T shape. Drop both knees to the left. Look towards your right shoulder. Complementing that rollover pose by opening the front body. We were just compressing the upper body, and now we open it. One more breath cycle. Inhale the knees to center, and we'll switch it over. Drop both knees to the right. Look towards your left shoulder. Inhale both knees to center. Grab your strap and we'll do some stretches because we did lots of strength today using big muscles of the low body in a lot of those poses. So let's stretch. Draw that right knee in, place the strap on the sole of the right foot, extend it to the sky, drop your shoulders down, and then pull and release. Gently stretching, dynamic stretch, the back of the right leg. Pause the motion, straighten out your left leg and draw that right leg across your body for an outer thigh stretch. Soften the knee, bring that leg back up to vertical, pass the strap into your right hand, and then open the leg to the right. If you don't have furniture in your way, you can go a lot lower than I'm showing here. Stretching through the inner thigh and groin. One more breath cycle. Draw the knee into your chest and remove the strap. Put that right foot flat on the mat. Draw your left knee into your chest, sole of the foot into the strap. Extend that straight leg up to the sky. Relax the shoulders into the mat. And then pull and release. Dynamic stretch for the back of the left leg. Pause. Straighten out your right leg. And now using that strap in the left hand, open the leg to the left. Going for the inner thigh first this time, reversing the order. Inner thigh and groin. One more breath cycle. Put a little bend in the knee to bring the leg back up. Pass the strap off into your right hand and then lower the leg across the body for your outer thigh and hip stretch. One more breath cycle. Bring the leg back to vertical, bending the knee into the chest, and remove the strap. Set it off to the side. We're going to finish with happy baby and then relaxation. So draw both knees into your chest, flex the feet. Knees and feet are wide. Let the soles of the feet look up at the ceiling, and then place your hands either on your shins, or grab your ankles or big toes, or wrap the hands to the soles of the feet. Draw the bent knees closer to your armpits, relax the shoulders, and let your hips be heavy, heavy, heavy. Stretching low back and hips here. A little baby stretch for the inner thighs as well. If you want to add a sway, you can, if that feels okay on your low back. Breathe. If you want, you can add a little baby kick too. That'll enhance the hamstring stretch on the back of the thigh. Take one more breath cycle. Pause the motion if you added it. Release the arms. One at a time, bring your feet down. And we're going into relaxation. You can keep your knees bent, letting them rest against each other, or you can straighten the legs out, opening the palms up to the ceiling for Shavasana, corpse pose. Or if you prefer a different pose, you could come onto your side in a sideline fetal pose. You could come back into upside down child's pose, whatever works for you. Close your eyes and just feel the strength in your body. Maybe you generated a little bit of a glow with some of our strength poses today. Maybe your heart rate is a little elevated. Go ahead and relax your breathing. Slow down your respiratory system. Take 3 more deep breath cycles here. And we're going to return to a seated pose. So You can do one sit-up, or you can roll to your side, push into the earth, and come back to a seated pose. Thank you for joining me on this yoga journey, this virtual yoga journey. I hope you continue to use the over 40 videos that you have access to. Bring your hands outside your hips. We'll finish with one more quote. This is from Helen Keller. And because we're talking about strength in today's practice, her quote is about being strong. And she wrote, "We can do anything we want if we stick to it long enough." Bring your arms up overhead. Let your thumbs touch your mind, your spirit breath, and your body. The spirit in me honors the spirit in all of you. Namaste, my friends. Thank you so much again. If you have any questions about any of the practice, never hesitate to just give me a comment. And I'd be happy to chat yoga with you. Until next time, maybe I'll see you at my new position at La Cita, doing yoga classes and bar classes there. Have a great day. Bye.